So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a scanner that finds some of the best swing trades for bullish stocks. So, first off, if you don't know who I am, my name is James Mason. I am one of the founders for Transparent Traders. We are a growing Facebook community, and if you're looking for a community with like-minded individuals, please check us out. I also have a 40 video free course on my YouTube channel in the playlist section. So if you're looking to learn how to trade, how I trade, by all means, it's yours. So let's get started here. First off, I'm just going to go and say, just to get it out of the way, that if you just want to copy this scanner and don't want to watch the video, if you look in the description, it'll be the first line at the top. Just copy it, and you'll come up here. If you're using TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, you'll come up to Setup, and you'll click on Open Shared Item, and you'll just copy and paste that into there, and then just load it up through the scanner, and you'll have it. So hopefully you would like to watch this video, but if not, it will be the first line in the description. So this scanner, I accidentally created it because I was trying to tweak my day trading scanner, which I always say don't tweak it, but I just wanted to try some things out with a thought I had, and it actually was a failure for the day trading stuff, but it actually turned out great for swing trading. So this is the breakdown of it right here, and like I said, you can set it up just like this manually if you want, or you can just upload it when I drop the link in the top line in the description at the bottom. So if you want to manually create this thing, you'll go over here and you'll click stock 3 times. So apply a filter for stock 3 times, and then study 3 times. So right here, the first one, you'll change it to close. Second, volume. Third, percentage change. The fourth one, which is study, price direction. And then the next one for price direction is closed and has increased, and 1 consecutive bar. And I'll explain this in a few minutes why this is important. So for the second study one right here, which is line 5 or row 5, Bollinger Bands crossover. So if you click right there, and let's see, where's it at? The crossovers. Here it is, crossovers. There we go. You'll just click on that, and that's what you will have right there. And close above, upper, and keep the default in right here. So it'd be 20, and then 2 right here, and average type simple. For the last study filter, you can add the MACD crossover. You want it negative to positive, and keep the default standards in, and this should be exponential. Yeah, so I can't remember if it comes up simple or not, but change it to this one right here, and let's start up here. We'll talk about the price range. You can put whatever price range you in that you prefer, just to pull up a lot of stuff. For this one, I'm just putting in $1 to 400 for volume, a minimum 200,000. And never put anything for the max, because you want more volume. For percentage change, 2%. And a max, you don't want to put nothing in. Price direction, again, close, increase, 1 bar. And we're going to go over here. You're going to have the option for this time frame for what you want to measure it in. Now the rest of these will be day, but I need you to change this one, and you'll have to trust me, because if you don't change it to the 5-minute period, your results will be skewed. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly why. And I've tried this on all different periods, but the 5-minute one is the one that actually works and produces these results. If you keep it on the day, you'll get kind of the same setup, but for some reason I can't get it load up. I mean, I'm not sure if it has anything to do with it obviously being Sunday and the market close, but you know, it pulls up ticker FL on the daily, and if you look at it on the daily chart, it's just a massive red candle from where it gapped up. And that's not what we're really looking for. Now, will a scanner be 100%? Absolutely not. But the closer we can get to 100%, the easier it makes things in trading. So for the Bollinger Band crossover, it'd be above, upper, keep this stuff right here. It should be standard. And this one you're going to keep on day. So come down here, click on day. For the MACD, negative to positive, and then the standard stuff, which is going to be 12, 26, 9, and make sure it's not on simple. Again, I can't remember if it, you know, is default simple or whatever, but change it to that and click on day for the time frame. And since I, you know, changed the scanner now, I got the 5 minutes in right here for the price direction. And again, 1 day. Don't change this to 2 or 3. This is completely different than my day trading scanner. This is for swing trading. This is actually going to find true gap up stocks. Now, if you look obviously up here, and if you go to public, you can find, you know, the stuff for gap up, but this is not the scanner that you want, because what this is looking for, this gap up right here, it's literally finding stuff that gaps up 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, and that's not enough movement that we need. And you know, it's going to find you all kind of just different results. And technically, if it's, you know, going up in the pre-market and opens up the next day 10 cents or whatever more, they classify that as a gap up. I mean, technically it is, but it's not what we're looking for. So, you know, again, 5 minutes, day, right here, and we're going to click scan. So this is what I have that will come up. And, you know, for this period right here, this time frame, or right now, that I just scanned. So what I'm going to do next, just to make this easier for me, is I'm going to save this. Now, when I originally created the course, my free course, like I was talking about in the beginning, if you look up in my playlist section, TOS was completely different then. So now, to save a watch list as an active scanner, you now have to go up here, click right there, and click save scan. Yes, and my box came over to, oh, come on now, this little box came over to my other screen. It's not going to let me pull it over because I can't grab the top of it. So I'm just going to type in, I don't know, I'm just going to name it video demo, and today's date, which is March 3rd. So basically what I just did, and you couldn't see it because it put it up over here on my other monitor and it wouldn't let me grab the top for whatever reason to drag it over. So I just saved that as that watch list. But be sure, if you want to save a scanner as a watch list, you need to click right there and save scanner. That's how you do it, and you'll just type in a name and save. So I'm going to come over here, highlight that, and I'm going to look for it. So because I created it, it will be under personal over here, and here it is. Alright, Alright, so let's go to charts. Hold on, let me go back to FL real quick. So if you didn't change that 1 to 5 minutes and just kept all 3 at day, this is what would have came up right here, ticker FL. And this is us looking on the daily time frame, because if you're swing trading, that's technically how you need to base it off of to, you know, to see the flow in the trade. So I mean, obviously if you look at the 5-minute chart, you're going to see a completely different picture. So since we're swing trading it day to day, the daily chart is the better option to determine if this is a trade you want to take. And then before you take that trade, you actually want to, you know, I prefer, since I trade on the 5-minute chart, what I would do is then I would look at the 5-minute time frame. If I determined that I was going to, you know, want to take this swing trade, if the setup was there for me, and then I would start looking for the best entry point for when I wanted to get in. And that would be basically, if this was downtrending, I'm not going to jump in yet on the 5-minute chart. I want to see it level out or kind of start uptrending again before I started to jump in. That would help me not, you know, enter a trade that far upside down. So going back to the 1-year, 1-day chart, you know, if you wouldn't have changed the settings again, this is the stuff that you would get, and this is not what you want. So we're gonna go back down here to the watch list that we just created with that scanner, and this is what I got with the scanner. This is the daily chart again. So you clearly see this massive gap up. Now with how gap ups work, gap ups at some point always fill the gap. And that, you know, that's true for even a gap down. So you clearly see this on the daily chart. It gapped up a ton right here. And then it closed out for the day right here. So at this point, you know, it got to its high, which basically the high was 49.45. And it actually ended up closing at 49.13. So with the way, you know, gap up or gap downs work is, they always say, we'll just talk in terms of a gap up, because that's what I'm showing you right here. This is what this scanner is for. This will find true gap ups. They always say, don't ever short on the first day. Meaning, we ain't talking about shorting in between the intraday price action. We are talking about, don't short this and hold it into the next day. Because when something gaps up like this, it may take the next day may become red. And what you have to look for is, you know, if the next day opens up red, which there could be a good chance, what you're wanting to look for is to see it go down and to see where it starts to reverse. And when it starts to pull back, that's when I personally would enter that trade. Because when these things gap up, there's a reason, and usually they end up creating a newer high. I'm not telling you that you're going to get rich and just hit home runs. That's not stock trading. But what I'm telling you is, when you find something that's true like this, they usually tend to create that new high. The same thing for if they gap down. If you find a ticker that gaps down on the daily chart, if you try to go long in it, you're going to feel pain, because it's going to go lower before it goes higher. So with that being said, this scanner, what this scanner looks for, it looks, you know, specifically for it breaking this upper Bollinger Band and closing above it. So we want to see a close above this. So this is a strong close, but at the same time, it's looking for a complete reversal on the MACD, and you see it right here. all these red bars, and then bam, this solid green bar. So there's a good chance for this ticker right here, X-ray, you know, XRAY, that it closed out at 49.13. There's a good chance that it's going to close out higher. How much higher? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you're trading options, especially, make sure you buy enough time. I always say that I even buy enough time when I am day trading, just in case if I get turned upside down, I can make the decision on how much pain I want to endure, and I will have the time to be able to endure it. And most of the time I can at least break even on it or make a small profit. So, like I said, this won't hit home runs. I mean, it could, but I always bank on anything not hitting a home run. But I'm looking to make profit, because if you're trying to hunt down the big trades that are just going to be home runs for you, you're going to take mass losses. You want to consecutively and consistently keep making winning trades. And this goes back to buying enough time for options, or if you own shares, you own them. So what you want to look for here is something, that comes up like this, and then, whenever you deem is the best time for you to enter your trade, you'll enter it. And I usually look for the next significant day that it creates profit for me. And that may be a day trade, it may be just a one-day swing. But when I hit profit, like decent profit, and what I mean by decent profit is if I'm hitting like 20%, or maybe a little bit more, 20 to 30%, I start looking to get out with options, because you never know when any stock can reverse on you. So I don't like to hold anything long term, even in swing trades. And when I get to 20 to 30%, I seriously start looking to sell, and I walk away with that profit, and I just repeat everything all over again. So here we are with X-ray on the daily chart. Let's look at PTLA. So same thing. So I'm just gonna tap down, and you'll see right here on the daily chart what this is actually finding. So you'll see the gap up, and then you'll see the reverse right here, the reversal on the MACD. So get that one. There you go there. Here you go here. And as you can see, well, and that's it right there. So, it doesn't find a ton, but, most of these are going to create newer highs. Now, I originally first talked to you guys about this on February the 24th, and I have a screenshot over here where I posted it in Transparent Traders on the Facebook group. This is February the 24th where I'm talking about this, and I posted the watch list. So we're going to start from the watch list, and I'll drag this over real quick just so you can see it. You can see it right there, and no need to remember these. I'm just going to go through them by typing them in manually. So there we go. We have that. So ticker JD. We're going to look at it on the daily chart. This is February the 24th. So this was a Sunday when I had called it out. So let's see. So this is the 25th. This is the Monday that it opened up at. So the last trading day was the 22nd. I called it out on the 24th, and this is how it opened that following day, which would have been a Monday, the 25th. So this one right here opened up, and it did shoot up a little bit, but then it tanked. But remember, I said, the next day when you're entering this, because you technically want to enter these, your swing trades, at the end of the day. And you know what I mean by the end of the day, I would recommend probably the last hour, to be honest. So you want to enter these at the end of the day, or even the next day. Like, let's just say you scan this tonight, and the next day you want to see how these tickers turn out before you enter. So let's just say, let's just say that on the 24th, when I posted this and showed you guys this watch list, which I generated this watch list by this scanner right here, that you watched ticker JD on the 25th. It started going up a little bit, whatever, and then it started dropping the next day, and you decided to enter at the end of the day. So the next day it actually opened up lower, but then it went up. And then the next day, bad day, it went down, but the next day you had a massive gap. And honestly, if I was in it at that point, I would have for sure sold. So, you guys see what I'm saying right here? This is what I'm looking for. And because I would have bought enough time on my contracts, I would have saw some red in this trade, but I have time to endure this. And what I mean by time, not a week. I prefer to buy a month. A month is probably the sweet spot. It gives you enough time because you technically want to sell this before 2 weeks. So, some of you might be thinking, well, if you want to sell this before 2 weeks, why not buy 2 weeks left on a contract? Because of theta. The closer it gets to the expiration, the more theta hurts you. So if you buy a month, it's like a plane that crosses over. If you're looking at a diagram, you'll see the arch on the diagram. It goes up and makes the wave, and that 2 week mark, it's that pivotal point right here. So I hope that makes sense if you know what I'm talking about. You want to sell it before 2 weeks, and if you can sell, the sooner you can sell it, the better. So something like this, let's just say we would have entered it right here at 26.18, and the next day, it would have got up to 26.64. You would have had a little bit of profit, whatever, nothing crazy. Next day we've been hurting a little bit. It dropped down to 25.98, but then the next day it actually opened up at 28.58. I would have sold that at the open. Like, I wouldn't even try to chase it for more profit. You'd have made killer money on that, honestly. Don't be greedy and try to hold for more. If you try to hold for more, you'll take losses that will just hurt so bad. Even though this next day right here, it went up and its high was 29.39, that would have been great, but you wouldn't have known that it was going to happen. So when you have these decent profits, take them. So that's the first ticker. We'll just hit a couple more real quick so I can just show you, so this video isn't too long. Okay, BABA. So looking for the 25th. When it opened up right here. It gapped up, and it kind of traded sideways a little bit. And this was the last Friday, so March 1st. It had a high of 168.90. So yeah, it went up a few dollars. You would still made great profit for this one. Again, you're not hitting home runs here, but if you'd have sold it near that high, you would have done pretty daggone good. So we'll jump to the next one, PBI. This one, okay. So on the 25th. So this one, actually would have ended up being a bad trade. And here we go. It would open up right here, had a little spike, but nothing really great at the open, and then it tanked. It just honestly died off. So watching this one, it's too early to. You have two bars right here indicating on the daily MACD that this middle Bollinger Band line is showing somewhat of the support, but it could break through that and completely reverse back downward again. But this is why I always try to trade large cap stocks. This is clearly small cap. The more expensive the stock is, the greater the chances, honestly, for it to move up in value. And if I can get into a trade with a stock that's $100 to $200, that's kind of my range right there. Well, my favorite range. So we'll look at, let's see, we'll just look at the next one, ticker W. So clearly, you see something great like this. So it would open up on that Monday right here, and it went up, and it's just kept uptrending. That's kind of a perfect trade. I would not always bank on this, but that would have been great. So next one, TTD. Here we go. So on the Monday, it would open up right here. It went up and actually ended up hitting its yearly high of 202. And I mean, honestly, if I would have got in at opening the next day and it honestly moved up like almost $10, I would have sold. I would have just took the day trade and sold that. I would not have even attempted to chase that anymore. I mean, if you have a $10 difference in profit, I mean, it's up to you, but I'd take it. We'll look at one more. So this is a lower cap stock, BILI. BILI. Okay, let's see. So it opened up on that Monday right here. Went up and then down, and then next day, this one looks like crap. And again, remember, the cheaper stocks will give you problems like this, honestly. But here we go. Let's just say you had a horrible entry and you bought at the open on that next day for this one right here, and then just bad day, whatever, and then the next day bad right here. Well, this fallen day, I mean, it actually, it gapped up when it opened. I mean, at this point, I'd have sold it. You'd have made a little bit of profit because of the way it opened up, and I'd have pulled up stakes and cut it loose and took my little bit of profit and moved on. So again, we're not hitting home runs here. We're looking to take maybe a day, a couple days to turn a profit. Building your account takes time. And when you're swing trading something like this is what you would technically do. And again, the more expensive stocks yield better results. As you can see, the other ones that I had showed you already. And let's see, I'll look at, I know I said one more already, but I haven't even looked at this one. So this is more expensive one. So right here, so this is where it opened up on that Monday. As you can see, right here, the more expensive stocks yield better results. So again, I will share this this scanner with you. It will be the first line in the description, and make sure you change this one to 5 minutes and keep these other two at day. So I hope this helps you guys out in your swing trades. I hope that made sense with what I was showing you. And always, like when you're trading, especially with options, the more expensive stocks yield better results. So thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next one.